about inspirations, I'm inspired heavily by the likes of Stanley Kubrick, Danny Boyle. I'm also just found a new passion for contemporary European cinema. Films such as Irreversible, in particular, along with the directors I mentioned, helped me uh, direct this film. I'm really inspired by unconventional filmmaking. I'm going to talk about Irreversible. When I watched that film, it was almost like how to not film, but that's what made it so fantastic. So I've mirrored that, uh, I believe, into the soil, which makes it stand out and appeal a lot more. There's a lot of times within the soil where the camera work is long, drawn out, daring. I believe Nia described it as almost quite difficult to watch, but that's all in the context of the film. The film's quite a difficult film. We touch on some taboo subjects, so it would only make sense for the film work to be daring, engaging, unconventional, to really fulfill the story and the theme that is the soil.
So my role on the production was sound technician and sound design. For this one, I wanted to sort of go something a bit more unique, not the norm. Talking with Aidan about the possibilities of adding in different layers to create different atmospheres, and certainly with the flashbacks that we had in the scenes, we wanted to sort of add a sound that would help audiences understand that it was a flashback, almost like a trigger that we could set into the script and then into the story, and that way it would build onto what is actually happening, so people understood that it was either like a time before or a time after, sort of, let's say, flashback. Another one is we wanted to add a sort of drum beat throughout the film, sort of like the clicking clock in Dunkirk. Something that we can like not fast forward, like speed up and slow down, and that way it can help build the tension at certain points, but it also can mimic Jacob's heartbeat, and so you know if he's panicking or if he's in a more relaxed state. And then obviously at the end, when he looks like he might be dead, we can flatline it, and then it mimics that Jacob is gone or isn't. But then we could have the trickery at the end where you hear one more last heartbeat, as in like a sign of hope.
So my role in the film was producing and casting directing. So I felt as my role as producer that I had to oversee the production of the film and have my input where that I needed it to. And I felt like I had to use my organisational skills. So when it came to the treatment and the documentation, I had to make sure that everything was colour coded and I distributed the jobs evenly, as documentation does take pretty much majority of the film up. So for example, we had an edit decision list, so I distributed that to the editors. I had to organise all the paperwork into a specific order and make sure that it was done to the correct standard, but I felt like I needed to continuously keep the group motivated and make sure that everyone was engaged throughout the film. Obviously not only that did I do, but I did casting as well. We wanted the film to be perfect with casting. We wanted the roles, the people who came for the roles, to be perfect, not only physically but as characters themselves. Throughout the process of the casting, I just made sure that I looked at every single person in detail and made sure they was the correct person for the role. It showed throughout. The chemistry that built between the characters ended up being amazing. Overall I think the film went really well, and I've loved working with each of the team members. I think we're all really extremely passionate about the film, so I think it's going to show through the final product.
This film is about two male characters called Jacob and Duncan who are established by walking across the field and discover a dead body. My role for this film was camera operator and light design. So the entire film I was in charge of setting up the camera and collaborating with the director and director of photography to create the footage within this film. The only problems that occurred during the film was the extreme change of weather, which affected the lighting within the frame. For For the bedroom scene, I took the role of lighting and made sure the room had a balance of colour to highlight Jacob and Duncan.
I was the one of the main writers of the script. I was the director of photography on this short film, and also editing the film. I wanted to be director of photography because writing the script for it, I had a very specific vision of how I wanted it to look, and very specific camera work that I wanted to employ, and I found it difficult to explain it to other people and get other people to work the camera in the way that I wanted. Again, as editor, I knew how I wanted the narrative to be, and I sat with the director, who was also one of the script writers, and we shared a vision of how the film should look as at the end.
As assistant director, I really had to get everybody organised and in one place at the same time. It was really difficult trying to work around everybody's schedules because everybody has different stuff going on, so you can never quite get everybody in the same room for a long period of time. Days of filming, everyone seemed to be free all at the same time, so they always went well. As one of the script writers, it was the first time that I'd ever come onto a script that had already been written, and so I was also an advisor as well, so I made changes, I put my own ideas in there, and it was the first time that I've ever done that. All of the scripts I'd written had always been original or based off existing concepts, so I really thought that it improved my script writing to be on a script that wasn't initially mine, because it allowed me to look over it, see problems, talk with other people how we should resolve these problems, and also to have my work critiqued as well. And also as production designer, it was the first time I'd done that job, and with a production like this, we were going more for realism and for the actors to be comfortable and wearing clothes that they thought the characters would wear. So production design for this one was quite easy because we didn't really have to dress the actors, dress any of the sets, because we were going for a more naturalistic feeling.